Good morning, welcome back. Today I'm going to tie another saltwater fly. We're going to tie this guy. I really don't know what to call him. I don't know if he's got a name. I'm sure he does, I just don't know about it. I was out on the river a few years ago, and it was at night, and I happened to hear popping sounds coming from the water. And turns out there were bass coming up to the surface and making popping sounds. So this is a place that I fished at night using this guy, the sand eel, and I had pretty good luck with it. So I figured if I could tie and I fished them on a sinking tip line. The first 10 feet are sink tip, and that's how I fished this guy. So I figured if I try a floating line and made a fly that floated, if I could skip it on the water and make these little popping noises, if it would entice the fish to hit it. And sure enough, when I tried it, I ended up catching as many fish as I did with sand eel, subsurface. So I'm going to tie it today and see, if you guys are interested, you can try it out. But again, it's like the sand eel, it's a simple tie. It's just a mylar body. I'm going to be using this mylar right here. It's a 1/3, I believe, half-inch diameter. And I'm going to be using some chartreuse poly hair for the tail, and just stick some doll eyes on it. And the only difference between this and the sand eel is that this fly, I epoxy the whole thing to seal it so that it has a tendency to float better. And that seems to help because it really does float really well. So, if I can find the hook that I had. Oh, there it is. Alright, so I'm just going to begin with some chartreuse thread. Get a body down there. And like I said, this is a real easy fly to tie. It doesn't take long. I think the longest part is just mixing the epoxy and getting it on there and putting it on the winder to dry. But very effective fly. And it's I gotta tell you, it was a lot of fun hearing those fish pop on the surface and feeling them take that fly on the surface. I mean, it was a hoot. So let's see. These, instead of tying as long like I do the sand eel, I tie these a little bit shorter and make it more of a bubble appearance, more of a round shape. I'll show you in a sec. And again, if anybody knows the name of these flies, feel free to let me know, because I'd love to find out if they have a name. Sure they do. And just put this on like this, and cut that a little shorter. A little bit on the long side. Yeah, that's better. And I'm going to pinch the nose here. Tie that back. I'm going to whip finish here. Cut my thread. Then I'm going to take this mylar and I'm going to bunch it up a little bit and pinch it to give it that round appearance. Like I said, there we go. You know how that forms a little bubble-like. And then when you epoxy it, it really keeps it up on the surface. And just, I alternate between stripping, jerking, and just moving the rod tip pretty violently to get it to pop. Let me trim these off here. And like I said, the fish really seem to like it. I was out there one night. I think I fished from high tide was, I think it was 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. And I got there around 9:30, 10 o'clock. And I fished right until dead low. And as long as the fish were popping, boy, they were nailing this. They were really nailing it. That's not good. Actually, that worked out all right, because I can just tie up top. And then take my body here. Pick some of the longest fibers because I want it to stick out the back pretty good. Yeah, but like that would be good. Make the bottom and give it a whip finish. Tie that off real quick. Snip it. I come back to the back, and I want to tie this back on the body so that it doesn't flap around. It just has that tail flapping there. There we go. We'll just take these and trim off the whip finish on there. I don't have any of the paint with me to tie the red gills, but I don't know, I'm not convinced that really makes a big difference on this fly. Get some doll eyes here. These guys look like they might be pretty good. There we go. It's a real simple fly. That's basically it. Just take the epoxy, mix it up. I use a 5-minute epoxy, and just brush it on the body, brush it over the eyes, and that helps keep the eyes on it. And just make sure you get all of it and to seal it, and throw it out in the water. You'll see it sits really high, and you can just really pop it. What makes this fly really good is through the whole tide, is that even when the tide has stopped, like it's dead low or dead high, and there's no action, just it's in transition, throw this out in the calm water and pop it, and boy, I'll tell you, it really, if there's stripers around, it really gets them to hit. I mean, it really knocks it off. And that's it. Really simple, easy to tie, not expensive, and very effective. Very effective. I suggest if you get a chance to tie a couple, you do it and try it out. You'll have a lot of fun watching it hit up on the surface. I mean, it's a blast. It's like trout fishing. You see a fly coming up after a caddis. You see a good sized striper coming up after this, and I'll tell you, it'll get the blood running. Hope you liked the video. If you have any feedback or any criticisms, feel free to drop me a line. I'm always willing to learn more, and like I said, if anybody knows what the name of this fly is, I'd love to hear it. So thanks again for coming. Have a good day.